Did you know that the Greek goddess of spring was also the queen of the underworld? Hello and welcome to World History Encyclopedia. My name is Kelly, and today's video is all about a goddess of Greek mythology whose two primary roles seem to be completely incompatible, as the goddess of spring and grain and as queen of the underworld. Today's video is all about the goddess known as both Kore and Persephone. Don't forget, the easiest way to support us is by giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing to our channel, and hitting that bell icon for notifications so you don't miss out on any new uploads. World History Encyclopedia is a non-profit organisation, and you can find us on Patreon, a brilliant site where you can support our work and receive exclusive benefits in return. Your support helps us create videos twice a week, so make sure to check it out via the pop-up in the top corner of the screen or via the Patreon link down below. Persephone-Kore was an agricultural deity as the goddess of spring, vegetation, and of grain, but she was also the queen of the underworld and the wife of Hades, and to the Romans she was known as Proserpina. Persephone was the daughter of Zeus, king of the gods, and Demeter, the Olympian goddess of agriculture. And when she was associated with her mother, especially in relation to the Eleusinian Mysteries, she was referred to as Kore, which means maiden, and signifies her as both a maiden and daughter. Her name Persephone, which is commonly derived from the ancient Greek words pherein phonon, meaning to bring or cause death, can be seen in Hesiod's Theogony, where he calls her dread Persephone, despite her role in the underworld as a protectress in the afterlife. Not only was she known as Kore, but also Persephone-Kthoniya, meaning of the earth, and Praxidike, meaning exactor of justice, which is found in the Orphic hymn to Persephone. In the Orphic hymns, Persephone is noted as the mother of the god Zagreus, who is associated with Dionysus, and the goddess Melinoe, who is associated with Hecate. Both were also associated with Zeus. The Orphic hymns also tell us that the Erinyes or Furies, who were the three goddesses of vengeance, were the daughters of Hades and Persephone, which strays from Hesiod's telling of the Furies being children of Gaia and Uranos. Persephone is best known from the myth of the rape of Persephone, in which she is abducted by Hades and taken to the underworld with him. In some versions of the story, Hades sees Persephone picking flowers in a meadow and falls in love with her, and in others, he has Zeus's approval to take the girl away. Persephone cannot escape the underworld, and all the while her mother Demeter is on Earth searching for her. After Demeter, with the help of Hecate and Helios, finds out that her daughter is in the underworld, the soil on Earth becomes unfertile, and she will not return to Olympus without her daughter. Eventually, Hades allows Persephone to go with Hermes to Earth to see her mother, but slips her a pomegranate seed to eat. Since anyone who eats in the underworld is then attached to the dark realm, she has to return to the underworld. But because she ate only a single seed, a bargain is struck, where she spends half the year with her mother and the other half in the underworld. This myth is thought to explain the seasons, and is the main myth associated with the Eleusinian Mysteries, which honour Demeter and Kore during its festival and secret rites, and focused on the theme of Persephone's death in going to the underworld, and her rebirth each year, promising adherents a life after death. Her parentage, marriage, and responsibility as queen of the underworld is seen in the beginning of the Orphic hymn to Persephone. Persephone, blessed daughter of great Zeus, sole offspring of Demeter, come and accept this gracious sacrifice. Much honoured spouse of Pluton, discreet and life-giving, you command the gates of Hades in the bowels of the earth. Lovely tressed Praxidike, pure bloom of Deo, mother of the Erinyes, queen of the netherworld, secretly sired by Zeus in clandestine union. Despite her abduction by Hades being her most influential myth, Persephone does make an appearance in many other myths as queen of the underworld, and due to her other associations. When Aphrodite, goddess of love, put Adonis in a chest because he was so beautiful she wanted to keep him away from the other gods, the goddess gave the chest to Persephone for safekeeping. But after one glimpse of the beautiful mortal, Persephone refused to give him back to Aphrodite. Eventually, Zeus got involved as mediator and declared that Adonis would spend a third of the year with each goddess and then the remaining third on his own. She also had a jealous streak, which is seen in the myth of Minthe. Strabo's version of the tale tells us that Minthe was a concubine of Hades, but Persephone trampled her and transformed her into a mint plant, although in later versions, Demeter is the one to trample the nymph. As if Persephone hadn't been kidnapped enough in her time, King Persephone of the Lapiths thought it would be a good idea to kidnap the wife of the king of the Underworld to be his wife. His friend and son of Zeus, Theseus, kidnapped the young Helen of Sparta, and then they both headed to the Underworld to try and capture Persephone. Hades pretended to be accommodating and had the two men sit, but once they sat, they were bound tight by serpents. Later, the Greek hero Heracles released Theseus, but Persephone was left down there for eternity. Heracles was also in the Underworld for his final labour, which was to retrieve the Hound of Hades, Cerberus. Persephone welcomed the hero like a brother. She gave the hero her favour, and he was allowed to bring Cerberus to the mortal realm. As king and queen of the Underworld, Hades and Persephone were associated with communing with the dead, or necromancy, as well as the oracle of the dead, known as the Necromanteon. In the Odyssey, Odysseus was told by Circe to perform the rites of necromancy so he could commune with the ghost of the seer Tiresias, who Persephone had allowed to keep his wisdom in the afterlife. According to Apollonius Rhodius in his Argonautica, Persephone also sent the ghost of Actor's son, who had died during Heracles' battle with the Amazons, to the Argonauts, who craved to see men of his own kind. When Persephone was invoked in curses, she would send the Erinyes to punish and fulfill those curses. She is invoked in the Iliad as Meleager is killed by his mother Althea, who called on the queen of the Underworld to give death to her son, and by Electra in Aeschylus's Libation Bearers, who asks Persephone to grant a glorious victory as she and her brother Orestes prepare to kill their father's murderers. The most important cult associated with Persephone is the Eleusinian Mysteries. These rituals were observed regularly at Eleusis, northwest of Athens, between circa 1600 BCE and 392 CE. And despite the longevity of this cult and the associated rituals, much of what happened during the Mysteries are still just that, a mystery. We do know that Demeter and Kore were honoured, and the story of Kore's abduction was celebrated during the Mysteries. The initiates were sworn to secrecy surrounding the details of the ritual, but we know that after participating, initiates were changed and no longer feared death. The popularity of the cult of Persephone extended beyond Eleusis. It was particularly strong in Sicily and southern Italy, and sanctuaries to Persephone have been uncovered at Sparta, Mantinea, and Megalopolis. She was honoured both in her responsibility as goddess of spring and as the queen of the underworld, and as the latter, she would often be appealed to in curse tablets. Her name was also invoked on gold leaves that were inscribed and buried with the dead followers of Orphism, which gave instructions on how to conduct themselves in the afterlife. She was therefore understood as a goddess of life, whether one's life on earth or afterwards, but as with life itself, was understood as inspiring either hopeful expectation or fear of the unknown. Why do you think the ancient Greeks had the goddess of spring as also the queen of the underworld? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our new videos every Tuesday and Friday. This video was brought to you by World History Encyclopedia. For more great articles and interactive content, head to our website via the link below. If you like my shirt, you can find this design and a bunch more in our shop at worldhistory.store, or you can find a link for it down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you soon with another video.